bags of 25 rhizomes each, although they did short me one rhizome. So it's actually 24 in one and 25 in the other. So we're gonna go ahead and pot these up, guys. So hey, garden friends, this will pretty much be my workstation for potting up all the iris rhizomes. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is go collect 50 1-gallon nursery containers. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and count the containers to see how much I have. If I'm short, then I'll head back out. Right now it's drizzling. I'll head back out and grab a few more. So I'm using some Happy Frog potting mix. Okay. There it is, guys. Leaf grow. Okay. So this is what all the fuss is about. Does it look alive? No. But they're all dry. You can see the roots at the bottom. Let's stand it upright. Here are the spent leaves. This is the rhizome, the fleshy part that stores all of the nutrients and the water. And these are the roots at the bottom. The function of the roots is to anchor the plant and to provide uptake of nutrients and water. So there we go. That's a mail-ordered iris for you. Fill with 1/3 of compost. So the compost is basically right here. And then I'll rest my rhizome right on top. All right, just like that. I showed you guys the 3rd fill of compost, and just simply sit the rhizome right on top. Press in. Press the rhizome in, the medium, and just lightly, and I mean lightly, throw some around it to secure it in the pot. And that's all I'm doing 49 times. So the deal is, after I'm done this potting up of the irises, they'll all sit in this carport for the entire winter. And the carport clearly is sheltered, but it will get some effects of snow and rain over the course of the winter. And anytime I see precipitation exceeds what these plants can endure, I'll throw something over it just to protect it from excess precipitation. The reason I'm not planting these iris in the landscape, okay, is because the optimum times of the year to divide and plant iris is during the summer months, actually. So it's between, some folks say May, some folks say June, all the way to September. So I've missed it by a little over 30 days. There's a video that is coming up where I redo I'll show a clip, where I redo the center bed, the crepe myrtle beds, and I was able to score a host of discounted iris. They're all bearded irises. and I did plant them. And this was probably 2 weeks ago. I'm still working on the video, but I did plant them because in that instance, they were already in their pots and containers for quite some time actually. And they already went through about 2 or 3 light frosts. So I didn't mind planting those into the landscape. But these, since they're practically dehydrated, okay, since they're practically dehydrated and have been out of the weather for quite some time, they'll just end up rotting if I was to put them in the landscape. So as I said earlier, these plants will receive some moisture. They will have effects of snow and rain. However, like I said, I'm in a carport, so it is covered, and that moisture should be sufficient for these plants. Now, if I come out and check them and I see that they're bone dry, I may splash a little bit of water on them, but nothing excessive. Because in the cold months, you don't want to add extra water and moisture to plants, especially plants in containers, because they can rot. So the best time to plant bearded iris will be the same time you plant your fall bulbs, like tulips and daffodils and crocus and such. The only difference, and I'll stress again, the only difference is those bearded iris need to already be acclimated to the weather. In other words, let's say you're dividing some bearded iris. You'd want to divide and transplant them between that time frame I mentioned earlier, which is between May and September. Now, if these were already potted up and acclimated to a couple frosts, then you can go ahead and plant them in the landscape. Because these are pretty much dehydrated, okay, or dry, you don't want to put them in the landscape because that cold weather, that cold, wet weather will damage your bulbs. So that's the reason why I'm going to just pot them up. They're still going to get cold stratified because they're going to be outside. But again, I want to stress, I don't want them to be in the ground where they'll get wet, deal with frost heave, and pretty much damage the bulb. Like this one right here, guys, is pretty impressive. See that? It still has some of the green leaves right here, and all of this I'm going to remove because I don't want the dead growth to get in the way of that greener growth, because that greener growth will still perform photosynthesis and absorb energy for the rhizome. All right. So it ends up looking something like this. So to pot that one up, fill it up a third. I set the rhizome dead smack in the center and push down, making sure those roots have plenty of contact with the soil medium. And still leaving the rhizome exposed, I lightly add some soil around the plant and press down so that it's anchored in the pot. And this is basically how I'm potting up these irises to be overwintered.